Ma'am, so my next question to you is, do you believe the medium of instruction plays a bigger role in student success than students itself, than the content of the student itself?
Uh, to be frank, content is important. For sure, we can't tell that content is not important because 95% of our planning, it is our future success. But I just mean, how do we utilize this content? It is different way. When we are talking about medium instructions and content, it is the same like we can tell that for example, content, it is a fuel. We can buy the most expensive fuel, the best fuel, but if we don't have proper engine, it will not work. So medium instruction, it is our engine. So when we are using, our content in a proper way, we can get success. But even if we have the best content and our engine, which I mean medium instructions don't work, it means that this content is useless. Because I saw a lot of people and a lot of teachers really who spend a lot of time in planning. They have perfect lesson plans, they have perfect yearly plans. They also come to the lessons and they give the lessons, but when they give the lessons, they concentrate on the content. They don't concentrate how this content is accepted by students and which kind of outcome, what is going on with the students while they deliver the content. Some of the teachers, they can talk, for 45 minutes without stop, and they don't even care to check if this content really accepted or no. So when we talk about content and medium instruction, we can tell it is like fuel in a gym, or otherwise it is like skeleton content with the breeze. Without breeze, content doesn't work. The same, I just mean with engine. Without fuel, engine doesn't work. Without engine, fuel is useless. So it is two components which are really important. Yes.
It is actually highlighting how the way we deliver knowledge can sometimes be just as important as the knowledge itself.
Yes, for sure. Because, if you have even perfectly written plan, but it didn't have any effect for your students or people don't listen to you during your delivery, it means that all the job which you made for planning, it was wasted. So I just mean it is connected together and we need really work with it. That's why I tell you,
Exactly.
teaching, language of teaching is very important because it helps teachers really to feel the students and the students also to feel that the teacher helps them, that the teacher together with them. And the teacher, to be frank, must be more, not lecturer. The teacher must be facilitators because teaching and learning, it is two-side process, We are teaching from our side and we have the person in front of us who is learning. So I just mean if the kids don't learn from us, all our plans, everything is wasted. Yeah.
Well, ma'am, it's brilliant insight. It's almost like the medium is the lens through which students see the content. If the lens is not clear, the picture blurs no matter how beautiful it is.
Yes.
Now over to my host, Kritika. Thank you. She will be.
So, Natalia, ma'am, I would like to know how can teachers use the power of words to spark curiosity and motivation in learners?
There are a lot of ways to spark curiosity. To be frank, for me, when I studied NLP methods, they are not widely welcomed in pedagogy because, neuroscience and the NLP in general, there are a lot of critics for them. But to be frank, when I wrote my book, I used some NLP tools, but I used them from scientific point of view, and I explained for the people how to use it. One of very interesting way of making students interested, it is using different kinds of hooks, similar like used in Netflix. For example, when you start your lesson, you can tell them that something interesting will happen at the end of the lesson. Like, for example, today we will discover with you, or we will solve with you problem which people couldn't solve for 200 years. We will go with you step by step. In step 4, you will find out what we will do. But to reach step 4, you need follow with me. Step 1, 2, 3. I just mean, in general, people's brain made in a such way that people like to solve different puzzles. Students like to feel that they are fulfilling some gaps. If the teacher will show that the students have some gap of knowledge or some gap which they can fulfill and achieve some result, it is very interesting. Because in my life, I had one student. I don't like to put labels, but he was naughty, to be frank. He was naughty boy. He didn't like to study all the time. He disrupted the class. So I talk to him. I tell him, Omar, what's your problem? Why don't you like to study? He told me, I don't understand why. I tell, what do you mean? Okay, why will I study this and this? I will never need it in my real life. I need to know how to count money. I need to know this. I need to know this. To be frank, it was like informal talk, but this talk really put for me a very important task. And we are telling our teachers that real life connection of our lesson is extremely important. Some people just make it for tick, because we put for them some requirements for the lesson, they make it for the tick. But in reality, it is extremely, extremely important. Now our kids grow up in such society, they are watching TikTok. 6 seconds, they don't like swipe, If we will not take their attention during this first minute, all the lessons, it means that we lost them. They will stay in the lesson, they will be with us, they will tell, yes, ma'am, yes, I understood everything, I'm here. But in reality, we will lose their attention. So it's very important for us to grab attention of the students from the very, very beginning. And it is very important for us, like teachers, to show for the students that we are not just give them empty content. We give them something which will be useful for them in their future life. Like, for example, we are teaching persuasive writing for the students. When you just tell, good morning, students, today we will write with you persuasive essay and so on. It doesn't make for them any curiosity or anything. But when you organize your lessons, like, for example, okay, today, at the end of the lessons, we will make with you some sales. You will need to develop your product, make it for me nice marketing, and at the end, you will need to convince me to buy it with some amount of the money. Or you ask students, for example, prepare some persuasive speech for your parents, how to buy for your iPhone 16. I just mean, okay, for the kids, they are interested to study what is really near to them. And for us, like educators, we are teaching skills. And when we are teaching skills, we can adapt really. Because currently education, and for many years, to be frank, many teachers, they use old-fashioned methods which don't work with the students. The same writing, students can write blogs. Students speak it. Students can organize school TV. We have our own school TV. Students can make research by interviewing their colleague, running around the school. All this creativity, they are engaged in activity. They are training the same skills which we are training in traditional way. But all this they are doing with their own interest. So I'm thinking connect of real life experience. The same, I feel that teachers need to be themselves modern, because when the students, for example, they know all last tendency of AI, and teachers, don't know how to use a computer, it is very big difference. Teachers always, whatever age they are, they need to study, and to study not for study, to study to be on the same wave like new generation, because every generation, they are one step higher than the previous generation. Yes, so
That's
I
so
feel that
inspiring.
yes, to make students interested, what we need? Real life experience. We need to give
Right.
them some interested hooks. We need to give them clear steps how to achieve it. Sometimes, you make it small steps and you explain for them that step by step you will achieve your dreams. Also,
Exactly.
what is important and what I would like to add, some tools from NLP, which I like, uh, because I'm also certified NLP and in general life coach. Uh, Kids and people in general, they don't like when you tell them what to do. Okay, if you tell, for example, person to go right, mostly teenagers, especially, they will go to left. Okay,
Right, exactly.
so the best way to break beliefs of the students, or to do something with the people, to motivate them to take decision by themselves. And how they can do it? We can ask proper and right questions. It is the best way. Like, for example, the student is not sure in himself. I can't do this. I don't know how to write. I'm not a writer. I had one student like this. So I asked him, what do you understand by being a writer? The writer is the person who is writing big books and so on and so on. I told him, okay, is the person who is writing funny stories, making funny pictures, and make other people laugh, is a writer? He was thinking a bit. He told, yes, maybe. I told him, remember last week you gave us a very nice story about your vacation. I just mean you wrote it down and all class was laughing. Do you remember this? Yes, I tell. So, it was the first crack of beliefs. The child who believed he is not a writer and that he can't do this, he started to think, yes, if I made people laugh, it means that I'm also worth of something. And step by step, like this, the teacher, by asking proper questions, they can make students really motivated. They can make them believe in themselves. And I believe that for us, like educators, we need make students believe in themselves. And it is not only for students, even for our teachers as leaders. When we work, I believe that if the teacher is not happy, he can't educate kids. To make kids happy, to make kids motivated, inspired, I myself need to be happy. To be happy, I need to have a proper lifestyle. The teachers who just spend their life by writing, lesson plans and so on, I mean, they are good, hardworking people, but to be frank, they will not be successful because they will be exhausted, they will be tired. More or less, after several years, they will become burned up. And if you are empty from inside, you don't have what to give to other people. Teacher must be someone funny, who have nice time outside, who can enjoy his time, who is planning his time in a good way. I prefer smart work. Work hard is okay, but you need to work also smart. Person who has time for his own life can really teach children how live happy life, because education, it is not about stress, it is about inspiring, it is about motivating. As I told before, we all have now access for the content. We really need this atmosphere which inspire people to be better. So I hope I answered the question.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
perfectly. That's so inspiring. The right words can act like keys, unlocking curiosity and reminding everyone that learning is a journey, not a destination. What do you say, Lovely?
Sure,
well,
sure, for sure.
absolutely, Kritika. Absolutely agreed with ma'am. That's such an inspiring way to put it, because words truly have the power to ignite curiosity. and keep learners motivated throughout their journey. And ma'am, that was a touch wood when you have added that life relatable example. I mean, every one of us could connect with that feeling. And when the neuro-linguistic program, NLP and psychology, that got a blend kind of mixing with this, that I really, I mean, I really got so inspired by that because psychology is my favorite part. Now let's continue with the further question, Kritika.
Even me
Over
also.
to you.
I think the audience also love the example what Natalia ma'am is giving here. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's yes. So, Natalia ma'am, I would like to ask another question to you. What lovely, and I was thinking that what are some effective language habits teachers can develop to connect better with their students?
See, there are a lot of tools which really could be effective. One of very effective, it is not only a language tool, it is psychological tool and it is NLP tool. It is ability to build report. What does it mean, a report? Report, it is building trust. Mostly when people meet us, we have 1-2 minutes time to make impression. Based on impression which we give people, they will trust us or they will not trust us. The same it happens with teachers, with the students. So ability to make proper report with the parents, with the students is very important for the teachers. And by the way, not so many educators discuss it, but ability of the teacher to make proper relationship with the parents also affects the students' performance, because when parents and school work together, it is really, really, really a great tool and great investment in the child's future. And when parents and the school collaborate together, it's really extremely powerful collaboration. It's pity that most of the teachers, I would tell 50-60% of the teachers meet parents for the first time when something happened to their child. I just mean, mostly first meeting happens not in pleasant atmosphere, when the teacher need to complain about the students, or the students made some fight, or the students have bad marks. So from my side, as a teacher, I always try to connect the parents before it happens. After first, second week, it is the best time for any teacher to make report with the parents. How to make report with the parents? I always investigate my students and I advise my teachers to do the same. You need to notice, as per growth mind, which growth mind psychology, which I mentioned already before, we need to find something which the students do good. And every person, even the most horrible person in the world, has one something which you do good. And it is better to make, for example, acquaintance with the parents for the first time to address something good in the students. And I want to tell you, to be frank, it is really mind-blowing for most of the parents. Even for excellent students, it is very rarely when some teacher contacts them and tells something good about their child, without unexpectedly. But for the parents whose children, for example, all the time get complaints and so on, to get the call from the school, or to get the message from the school that the child is good in something, in doing something, it's incredibly, really inspirational. Parents start to be proud of their child. For sure, when the child back from the school, they shared it with him. So, I mean, such kind of interaction is extremely successful for the teacher to build report. Other thing, when we are dealing with the kids and when we start our warm-up time, many teachers waste this time. But this time really the time when you can connect with your students. It is very important to know everyone by name. It's important to ask the kids, how's everything? Sometimes it is very nice to remember what is the name of the pet, what his small sister did, or something like this, something which really gives the child importance. Because when us as teachers, we enter the class and we start directly with delivery of the lesson and we leave, we don't build connections. But connections build when you, for example, notice the person, when you remember something special about this person. I mean, when you share with the person that you remember something special about him or her, and when you notice it, like, for example, especially for lower grades students, girls, they like very much compliments about their hairstyle. They like when the teacher asks, who did it for your mother, or did you do yourself? The girls love such stuff. When you ask them some kind of questions, it already opens their trust. They already, I mean, what I want to tell, when you start your communication, start it with positive stuff. And don't start directly with a topic and so on. Start with the positive stuff. When you make acquaintance with your students, start with the positive stuff. Notice something good in everyone and complete with it. Other very good tool which I would advise for every educator, it is meta questions. It is related to NLP, but it helps for the students, for example, believe in themselves. Like, for example, when the students tell you, I never succeed in my math test, you start to ask him questions. When exactly didn't you succeed in your math test? Last time? But remember, 2 weeks ago, your math test was good. So it means you can do good. If you didn't succeed one time, does it mean that you will not succeed next time? I just mean such kind of questions, they really make kids motivated. Other stuff, sometimes the kids who are not confident in themselves, they are afraid to answer at the lesson. They are afraid that they will make mistakes, or they are afraid that other people will look at them not in a nice way. Sometimes the child tell, I don't have any friends, no one want to be friends with me. When you start to ask him meta questions, you will ask him, who doesn't want to be a friend with you, and so on. But do you see, there are other people who wants to be friends with you. And I mean, you are making also using reframing. Reframing, it is other tool, which is very, very, by the way, a strong tool, which can help us grown up or small kids to look at the situation from different point of view. Because for example, 10% what is happening during the lesson, 10% what is happening in our life, it is what is going on around. But 90% it is how we see situation. In conflict resolution between the students, what is good to do? I mean, it is good to make the students see the situation from different perspectives, from different frames. Like, for example, you have students who fight together all the time. You can put them like in 3 chairs. I mean, tell me first the story from your point of view, then tell me story from your friend point of view with whom you fight. Then tell me your story from my point of view, who hear you and your friend. And to be frank, when the students start to answer such kind of questions, they become more motivated, they become change their beliefs. And as I told at the beginning, for us like teachers, first we make belief, if I can or I can't, then we make our identity. Because if I think about myself, I can't, I feel myself failure before I start. So as per actions, no need to start. I don't start. The students, if feel I'm bad in math and I feel I will be mistaken, I will never raise my hand and answer, you know. So for us like teachers, we need to feel such students. We need to talk. Sometimes it's very important informal talk to the students because we ourselves can help them to discover themselves. Other point which I want to put your attention, it is multiple intelligence. Multiple intelligence or VAC approach. There are different way how the students learn and different way how the students and in general people see these words. We have visual people, we have auditory people, we have kinesthetic people. So when the teacher, for example, is clearly audio person and complete her lesson just talking, it might work for ordinary students, but all other types of the students, they will not be engaged. I always tell my teachers, when you start your lesson, you must ask yourself, you must include the three components. You must show something visual for the students. You must give something auditory. And for sure, you must have something hands-on to try for the students. And it is the best to combine all three components. There are a lot of different researches, and for sure now there are more intelligences, some use communicative, musical, and different kind. But more really types of intelligence we involve during the content delivery, more effective it will be. Because all of us, we don't have one dominant type of intelligence. But I just mean, if it is combined all together, it will really be effective. So there are a lot of really tools which could be used. And, you know, to be frank, I don't want to make it like a lecture. But at least I give you some tools which can be used every day and starting from today and tomorrow. Yes.
That's a very practical suggestion, and it really shows how small language habits can create a big impact in the classroom.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, when teachers choose their words thoughtfully, they guide not just understanding but also thinking about thinking and encouraging the metacognition, because using NLP principles they can frame language to motivate, build trust and create a learning supportive environment that makes learning more effective and more engaging.
Right. And I think Lovely wants to ask you one question, which is the last question from our side to you, Miss Natalia. So, Lovely, I think you should go ahead if ma'am will give you the permission.
Definitely, Kritika, thank you so much for doing the honors. Thank you, ma'am. May I ask you a question, please?
Please, sure.
Yeah. So, ma'am, my question is, which was popping up from my mind, like in diverse and multilingual classroom, what's the best way for teachers to balance different languages while still ensuring the clarity?
See, as a language teacher, I will tell you, when we studied language methodology, they told us when you teach one language, you must not interfere other language. But as a person who studied different understanding, I will tell you that language, it is the lens through which we look into the life. And for each person, his native language, it is something which is very near identified with his identity. So when we teach the language, English or any other language, it's better for us to use one language. But from time to time, the teacher can make breaks. And for example, when you give vocabulary for the kids, they can ask, how will it be in your language, or how it will be in your language? Such kind of moments, usually they make the students proud because someone is interested in their culture, someone is interested in their identity. In our school, we have over 60 different nationalities. So even in one class, if you will ask kids such question for one word, you can find, you know, over maybe 20 or 15 different definitions. And sometimes even for us, it is interesting. But mostly when we are using it to build rapport with the students, to build connections, from point of view as language teacher, I prefer to not mix languages. We usually use visual aids and so on when we are teaching one language. And especially when we are teaching language, we are using a communicative approach. So the students, when they don't mix languages during the lessons, you know, the process of study will be more effective. this I tell you as a language expert, but I tell you from the point of view of building connections, informal communication, even from the point of view of respect. If you are coming for community and you know that one nationality dominate, it is really issue of respect to study several words from this language, or at least to study greeting from this language. It is always make people happy. It will make them welcome you better, and so on. And for the teacher, for sure, I just mean in her break time, it is nice to ask the students how it will be hello in your language, or what does your name mean in your language. By the way, when I make interview with the teachers, always I ask such questions, because we get people really from different nationalities, and when we discuss the names, some names really strange for us, but when they explain the name meaning, most of them they start smiling. Most of them they start smiling, because we find out that in most of the names they have prince, and prince in different languages means the same. They have the same word hope. It is a different name. I just mean this hope, love. They have it in different languages in different way, and sometimes when you meet people, you even don't know what it means in their languages. So I want to tell you, it must be balanced. For teaching itself, better to use one language. Even I tell you, for bilingual, trilingual students, it is better for them, even for the kids, our own kids, when they're born, to not know that we know other language. Because if the child knows, for example, that you know his language, he will not take efforts to ask you or request something in the language which he doesn't know. The same like with father, mother. If he used to talk to mother in one language, to father in another language, it will be forever like this. And it will be like switch on, switch off. The child just will put. But if during the lesson, for example, the teacher start to use translating methods, the teacher start explain like for Arabs in Arabic, English words, and so on, it will affect the students will not make any efforts. The teachers can use a lot of methods for teaching language, like showing them songs, showing them movies, show them different actions where they can predict the meaning of the words. We can show them pictures and so on. But I just meant to not mix languages. But for making connections, it is good to use different languages.
Well, ma'am, such a valuable perspective, because multilingualism is a cognitive and linguistic strength. It's not a challenge. Your approach supports inclusive classrooms, promoting both learning and promotional well-being. So every child feels values and engaged in their educational journey.
Yes.
So with this, me, Lovely, and Kritika really would like to say thanks to ma'am for joining us today. Your thoughts remind us that teaching is not just about passing on the knowledge. It's about shaping minds and hearts through the language we choose every single day. So before we wrap it up, I would like to share something exciting to all the lovely audience. Have you ever wondered how students can go beyond textbooks and truly stand out? That's where Connaissance Specialist steps in it with professor-led building program. Through this program, students collaborate on real research projects with university professors, explore exclusive internships, and engage in unique modules such as legal education, and it's combined with volunteering, extracurriculars, and personal branding. It's all about shaping confident future ready leaders. So this is just not about profile building for admissions. It's about creating a strong personal identity that shines on a global stage. So stay connected with Connaissance Specialist. Here is a really namaste from India to you, ma'am, and to all the lovely audience who have joined in us. And we are really honored that Natalia, ma'am, you have joined us. Not only me, Kritika, and Dr. Rishi Mishra, sir, is also honored to listening to your such an insightful and really marvelous views on this. So here is Lovely
Thank you
and
so much for
Krishna.
invitation. It was a
Thank
great
you.
pleasure
Thank you very
to
much,
invite
ma'am.
us.
Thank you,
For
ma'am.
thank you very much for your presence, and we are truly delighted by the coverage of the content and the examples which you gave are really very lively and relatable. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Please stay connected. Please take care and stay connected. I really hope you have enjoyed this today's beautiful evening of our podcast session and something. There must be some key takeaways that you must have learned with our beautiful Natalia ma'am and Dr. Rishi Mishra sir as well. Thank you, Kritika. Thank you, sir. And thank you all the lovely audience to you have made this session a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Here is
you.
Lovely and Kritika signing off on behalf of Connaissance Special. Once again, thank you. We are really honored. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
joining. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.